Brazilians are extreme when it comes to worshiping their gods. Most Brazilians are Catholic worshippers, but they do something with their culture different than most. You would think that the influence would come from Portugal, but this is not true. The crazy other parts came from somewhere else. When I started researching, I thought that it would make sense that Portugal caused this worship. Actually, Brazil's influence came from heritages and cultures from all around the world. Most of the country, about 90%, are Catholic, and 1% of the people don't believe in God. To figure out where most of the influence came from, we must go back, before Brazil was founded. September 7, 1822, was when the Portuguese fleet, commanded by Pedro Álvares Cabral, claimed the land we now call Brazil. People came to Brazil as Catholics. When some important people were doing a meeting in the Catholic Church, African and Indonesian slaves were in the room. They started new traditions in the church because of the discussions they had, such as chocolate eggs for Easter instead of chocolate bunnies. Just random things you wouldn't think would be worthy of getting into their culture. Most cultures Brazilians have around the world come from Africans and Indonesians.
Traditions that make up the culture. Important dates like festivals makes up Brazil's culture. All Souls Day is similar and different to Day of the Dead in Mexico. All Souls Day is where people honor the ones who passed away. For festivals, Brazil people wear bright colored clothes. Women wear bright colorful dresses and men wear large straw hats with suspenders. Sometimes men play an accordion or a triangle. There is music, dancing, and games at the festivals. Traditions like All Souls Day and festivals make up the culture. For example, their education and food. Brazil's education has public, private, and traditional schools. Some popular foods in Brazil are feijoa, meat stew, and polenta, fried corn mush. Feijoa has black beans, pork, and other meats. Polenta is corn mush that is fried.
The country of Brazil, rolling waves of sand and ocean. This touristy country comes with urban areas, pleasant countryside areas, and dangerous areas. This massive country has a population of 202,656 and 788 million, and it's growing steadily. Now, the question that I want to know is how does the government of this massive country work? We will have to look at today's modern government of Brazil to be sure. The government of Brazil tries to keep this huge country under control, but it just can't get a firm grip on gangs and criminals. The government has tried to get more trainee police officers to pacify the slums that gang members and criminals hang out. The country is relatively safe if civilians know what to do in an emergency. The government is a democracy, which means that the people have the choice of everything. Votes, what to make and what not to make, things like that. But they do not have the choice of everything. The government has the choice of going to war, which country to make friends with, calling a ceasefire, and everything in that category. Brazil's government also participated in World War II, helping the Allies to win the war. The country's current president is Dilma Linhares Rousseff. A democracy is where the people have almost all the power and government makes decisions about very few things.
Brazil is a country of amazing diversity, from the busy urban city of Sao Paulo to the cultural experience of Pernambuco and Bahia, the wilderness of the Amazon rainforest, and beautiful landmarks such as the Iguazu Falls. There is plenty to see and do in Brazil. But how did Brazil become Brazil in the first place? They had to earn their independence and their name, Brazil. Brazil's independence started when revolutionaries created the Brazilian Army and the Brazilian Navy by forced recruitment of citizens and foreign immigrants. They brought in slaves into militias and also freed slaves in order to recruit them in the Army and Navy. Land and naval battles took place in the territories of Bahia, Cisplatina, Rio de Janeiro, Grã-Pará, and in Sierra, Piauí, and Rio Grande do Norte. The Brazilian Navy had many ships, but they were all damaged. The hulls of several ships that were brought were damaged beyond repair. The Brazilian agent in London, Marquis of Batley, received orders to get warships fully equipped and manned. No vendor, however, was willing to take the risks. Finally, there was a public offering, and the new emperor personally signed for 350 of them, getting others to do the same. So the new government was successful in raising funds to purchase a fleet of ships. The war concluded when the Brazilians made a siege on Salvador, the Portuguese base. The siege lasted from March 2nd, 1822 until July 2nd, 1823, finally ending when the Portuguese commander, Inácio Luís Madeira de Melo, surrendered his forces to Brazilians. The Brazilian Revolution was clearly a remarkable event in history. Though not much know about it, it is still no less astounding than the American Revolution. I hope you have learned how amazing and impressive the Brazilian Revolution really was.